Hi everyone, it's Miss Lisa from the library again, and today I'm going to teach you all about geodes and crystals. Did you know that no two crystals are shaped the same? They each have their own unique structure called a habit, and that's the outward appearance of the crystal. However, they're not all the same. You probably didn't know that every morning when you go out to your car, you are actually seeing tiny ice crystals. The frost that is on the window, those are ice crystals. Crystals form in 3 different environments. They form in magma, liquid, and vapors. And so that frost on your window is actually freezing vapors from the air. Crystals are used for many different things. And one place I found that crystals are used is the celestite crystal is used to make the red in fireworks. I love fireworks. So that was really interesting for me to learn that it's actually crystals that are giving it that nice bright red appearance. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your very own crystal at home. And for this experiment, you're going to need hot water, a jar. Mine is not a wide mouth jar, but if you had a wide mouth jar, that would work a little bit easier. A spoon. You can use a pencil or a popsicle stick. Measuring spoons. Borax, which can also be a cleaner, so you need to use it very carefully. Chenille sticks. String, or I used curling ribbon. And the first thing you're going to do is take your chenille sticks and you're going to make a design. I decided with Thanksgiving coming up, I would make a pumpkin. So I already formed mine. And then what you need to do is you need to attach it to your pencil or popsicle stick with your string or ribbon. One thing that's very important is you want to measure it to make sure that it doesn't hit the sides or the bottoms of your jar. So I already pre-measured mine, so you can see that it's not touching the bottom and it's not touching the sides, because otherwise it won't form correctly. And you're going to take it out, and you need to have 3 tablespoons of borax per cup of water, and my jar is 1.5 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it to the 1.5 cup mark, and I already have boiling water in here. Okay, and once you know that it's at the right spot, have a grown-up help you. And so since I have 1.5 cups, I need 4.5 tablespoons of borax. I already measured my borax, and you are going to very carefully, with the grown-up's help, you're going to pour it into your jar. And you're going to slowly pour it in there and mix it until it is dissolved. And so you're going to mix it and mix it and mix it. And I will tell you that when I did mine before, it still had a little bit of borax. I couldn't get it to fully dissolve. Once you have dissolved it, you are going to take your design and you're going to place it in the jar. Now you already pre-measured it, so you know it's not going to touch any of the sides or the bottom. And then what you're going to do is place that to the side, and it needs to sit overnight. And when you come in the next morning, you will have your very own crystals that have attached to the chenille stick. The borax has crystals in it, it's little crystals. And so as it evaporates and as it cools, it sticks to the chenille stick. And the more time that crystals have to cool, the more awesome they are and the more time they have to develop and the more that you get. So you can see on mine towards the bottom where it took longer to cool, I have more crystals that attach to the chenille stick. I made mine to look like a firework because, like I said, I love fireworks. And after I was done and had pulled out my design, these were all the borax crystals that were left behind. I scraped them out of the jar so you can see what they looked like. So you have your very own crystals that had attached to the side of the jar instead of the chenille stick. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about geodes. Geodes are hollow rocks that have crystals on the inside of them. So for example, I have this rock that you think is hollow, and there's actually a ton of crystals on the inside. And how the crystals get there are little air holes all throughout it, and when water seeps into it, that water is filled with multiple minerals. And as it evaporates and cools, a layer of crystals is left behind. And then it rains again, and water seeps into the rock again and leaves another layer of crystals. And this happens over and over again over the years until the entire hollow rock has been filled with crystals. This is what the inside of a geode looks like. those are crystals inside there. So that was a hollow rock that we cut in half or broke open, and you can see all of those crystals. And I did one myself. And so what you would do is, I can put my geode kind of back together. So it was like this. And then I scored around it with a chisel. You need a chisel, you need a hammer, you need safety glasses. It takes a lot to make your geode, but you need to be patient and it'll give you an awesome result at the end. And you keep hitting it with the hammer over and over and over again, but not too hard because you don't really want it to split in a bunch of pieces like mine did. You really want it to split in half like this one did. And eventually my geode cracked open and you can see the different pieces that I was left with and all the shiny parts of the crystals inside. And here's another part of mine. This one only has a few crystals in it, but I think it looks like a road map throughout the rest of it. It's still very unique. Geodes can be found all over the world. Brazil produces some of the most amazing geodes. However, you don't have to travel to Brazil to see some geodes. There are a lot of geobeds here in the United States. California, Nevada, Arizona, Illinois, Iowa all have geobeds. Iowa has so many geobeds, it's actually their state rock. And another place you can see some of the biggest geodes are in Ohio. A family was digging for their winery and they stumbled upon a cave filled with crystals. In there are some of the biggest crystals that weigh 300 pounds. Could you imagine a 300-pound crystal? Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own geode at home. It's not going to be a 300-pound geode, but it'll be a very cool looking geode. For this project you need a jar, eggs, food coloring, a paintbrush, glue, tablespoon, a regular spoon, alum, and warm water. So the first thing you're going to do is have your egg. Now you can either crack an egg like normal, like you're going to make scrambled eggs with it, and you can have this half of your egg for your geode, or you can put a tiny hole at the top and a hole at the bottom and make it a little bit bigger at the bottom, and you're going to blow the yolk out of the egg. And if you can either do it in the sink or you could do it in a bowl, and if you're like me, you do it in a bowl and make some breakfast out of it, you'd blow the yolk into the bowl, and then you're left with a hollow eggshell. After you're done with that, you can take a pair of scissors and you're going to cut it horizontally, and you end up with your eggshell. And so once you have done that, you can pick off all the pieces that are left behind, and then you're going to rinse it in the sink and then towel dry it. And once you've finished towel drying it, you're going to fill it with glue. You can pour your glue in there, okay? Pour your glue in there. And you want to paint it all around, okay? And you want to get a lot in there and you want to paint the edges because that's what is going to help make your geode. The next thing you're going to do is take your alum, and alum you can find in the baking section. I had never heard of it before. You can find in the baking section. It's actually used for pickling a lot, and you are going to sprinkle it inside your egg, and that is what it will look like once you sprinkle it all in, okay? And you shake it out upside down on a paper towel, and then you will let it dry overnight. When you come back the next morning, you are going to get ready to make your very own geode with the crystals. You need a jar and your hot water. You need 1 cup of hot water. So I'm going to pour to the 1 cup mark. Okay. You're going to pour to the 1 cup mark, and you need 6 tablespoons of alum for every cup of water. So I have my alum already pre-measured out, and you're going to pour it in your jar. And you're going to use your spoon to stir it just like you did with the crystal, okay? And you want to keep stirring it until it has dissolved. I will tell you that when I did mine, I still had a little bit of alum at the bottom, but my crystals still turned out. Once you have done that, so that's what it looks like. Once you have done that, you will take your food coloring. For this crystal, I'm going to do blue. And you are going to add 15 to 20 drops. $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20. Okay. Put your cap back on because you don't want to spill and make a mess. And then you are going to stir it all in. Look at that nice bright blue. And there's still a little bit of alum left in there, so you want to make sure you stir all that. Okay, and once you know it's good to go, the next thing you're going to do is take your dried eggshell that had the alum in it, and you are going to very gently, you don't want to break it, very gently set it in your dish, okay? And then with your spoon, again, very gently, you're going to push it all the way to the bottom, okay? Now, I will tell you, when I did mine last time, one of them turned to the side and faced the edge of my jar, but my geode still worked. So now here comes the long waiting part. This is why I have to wait overnight. This needs to set for 12 to 15 hours. So I'm going to set this to the side. And when you come back in the morning, you can take your geode eggshell out of the jar, and you have now made your very own geode. It dyed the shell, and look at all those crystals in there, okay? And then I made a red one. And you can save them for yourself, or you can give them away as gifts. There's all sorts of options. There's a lot of steps to it, and it takes quite a few days to do it, but the end result is your very own homemade beautiful geode. I hope you enjoyed learning all about crystals and geodes today. If you would like more information, we have tons of books at the library on rocks and minerals and geodes and crystals. We have lots of e-resources that you can have access to through the PDF, which is also online. And I hope everyone has a good day. Bye.